many more are there?
Well, I got a couple more.
You did not tell me, sir, that I was going to be on trial for this.
Well, you got to pay attention.
I don't want to. You talk a lot.
No,
and
I
so I just like
I've wondered what it would be like to be a teacher.
I find myself just like drifting and dreaming about a time when you're not talking. Hello, everyone that's ever been on a cruise to Mexico and was told not to drink into the water, but really wanted a fucking Bloody Mary when they were hungover and got the amoebas.
The amoebas.
The amoebas. My name's Jamie.
I'm Peter.
And welcome to another titillingly truthful episode of Drunken Demonic.
I love the alliteration.
Titillingly
truthful.
Here we are. In all its fucking glory.
Yeah,
you fucking pussy ass bitch.
Obviously, welcome to another alcohol-fueled episode of Drunken Demonic.
Yes, to the most. Sorry. Are you saying I've been drinking? Just tell me.
I didn't say that. I may have implied it, though.
Okay.
All right. Tonight, we will be covering the unsolved mystery of the Mary Celeste, a ghost ship that was found over 150 years ago that still has experts confused on what really happened to the entire ship's crew. But before we get there, Jamie's going to make us up some crazy blue cocktail to loosen our lips so that we may sink some ships.
So we're going to go with this.
I did write that I was sorry about that, but I'm actually not. I thought it went over well.
We're going to call this the Celeste Curse. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with rum, obviously, because it's tropical, right?
Love it.
And then we're going to put it into our beautiful tiki glass.
We're so professional here.
So
do you at least have something to measure?
Yeah. So this recipe calls for roughly 3 of rum, roughly,
because that's how things are usually measured and how many shooters there are.
Everything is shooters.
Yep.
So yes,
I guess this is for all of you that are going to the gas station on your way home. You can make this cocktail in your car.
Yeah, don't
do it.
We're not gonna recommend that because that's really shitty to do. All right, from there,
we don't have to drink it in your car.
We're gonna
make it in your car.
We're gonna take a Diet Coke cups worth of blue curacao.
I put the shot glass there for you.
Oh, it's okay. I'm going to put all of it in there. And then we got ourselves a little can of pineapple juice.
Did you shake it up first?
Yeah, dummy.
Okay. You're just doing the whole thing?
There's so much booze in there. You're going to want it.
Okay.
I know you think that I don't know what I'm doing, but I kind of know it.
I'm waiting to trust you on this one.
You think it's too much?
You've proven me wrong a couple of times, so I'm just
I'm not going to. So then we're doing a hint.
Another hint.
A hint of inches. Keep in mind
to put that up there. We don't need to advertise Coca-Cola.
Keep in mind the reason why Peter's a bartender is because of me this day. So him judging me, it's all because of acts of love. So we're not going to drink out of this because we have our beautiful skulls. Correct?
Yep, we have our skulls. Yep, for sure. Jamie, back to our regular
scheduled
programming.
Give me some.
Well, I was just giving her a little swish around.
Give me a swish and then give me a pour into our glasses.
All right.
I trust your eyes better than mine, sir.
Good call.
Well, your judgment too. You're like, oh, that much? Oh, it's blue like the sea. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It wouldn't be about a ghost boat if we didn't have a little blood to this, correct? So,
blood in the water. Blood in the water.
We're just going to give this off a little.
Dude, that's cool as hell, dude. Blood on the bottom.
You can have this too.
That's cool as shit. You can have this. Thanks, dude.
Cheers, sir.
Hey.
I bet it tastes like pineapple juice.
I don't think I got any grenadine in there.
No, it's not the bottom.
Yep. We'll just drink some grenadine at the end of it.
Who gives a shit, dude?
I like it. It's tasty.
Tastes like pineapple juice.
Sure does. You want some Malibu in there, dude?
Yeah, put some Malibu in there.
Professional bartenders at work, ladies and gentlemen.
I forgot about the Malibu. Well, that's way more than you put in yours. Put some more in yours.
Now it's kind of mixed up a little bit.
All right, let's try it.
Let's try it again.
Now it's blue, dude.
That'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Celeste Curse there, also known as a Blue Hawaiian.
Blue Hawaiian with grenadine, no creme de cacao or creme de coconut?
No. Yeah, instead of the Coco Lopez, we put Malibu in it. Yeah. Creme de cacao. Cacao.
Cacao.
All right. Leave us here. I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
All right. There's something deeply unsettling about an empty ship. No wreckage, no distress call, just a boat, perfectly intact, drifting silently at sea. And that's exactly what the crew, the De Gratia, found on December 4th, 1872, when they spotted the Mary Celeste floating aimlessly in the Atlantic. No crew, no bodies, no sign of what happened, just a ship abandoned mid-journey as if its people had vanished into thin air. But this show isn't like all the other podcasts that just tell you stories of murder and mayhem. We do things differently here on Drunken Demonic.
Oh, we do?
We sure do. We made a drinking game out of this story.
Oh,
Tonight,
good.
I've gathered clues, some real, some completely ridiculous, and your job, Jamie, is to tell the difference. If he's wrong, he takes a drink. If he's right, well, we'll probably both drink, but I'm supposed to.
Is this going forward? We're just going to have drinking games for everything?
Yeah, for sure. I think we're just going to do a drinking game podcast. Yep.
Okay.
So bust out your shakers and give Jamie's Curse of the
Celeste's
Curse a try. And if that's not your style, enjoy a nice glass of warm milk as we dive into the mystery of the ghost ship, the Mary Celeste. Now, in the spring of 1861, in a harbor of Nova Scotia, the brigantine ship that would later become known as the ghost ship, the Mary Celeste, was built. Before that, however, the ship would be called the Amazon and would experience its fair share of disasters as well. On the ship's maiden voyage, before it even left the harbors of Nova Scotia, the captain would die of disease. A year later, the ship would end up colliding into another in the English Channel. At one point, the ship would accidentally be run aground, damaging its hull, and while it was being repaired from that accident, it would also be caught on fire while docked in 1870. Normal circumstances would have pretty much deemed this ship as unlucky and would have left it to rot in a harbor. However, a desperate shipping merchant purchased the ship, fixed and refitted the entire ship, and rechristened the ship as the notorious Mary Celeste.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Will you grab Jason?
Oh, yeah.
He's so left out.
My bad, dude. He goes right in the middle.
Thank you. I couldn't really think about.
Take a quick drink break.
I couldn't think about anything else you were saying because I was worried about him.
I guess you can maybe hold on because I'm about to ask you a question. Jamie, have you been paying attention?
Nope. I told you.
What was the original name of the Mary Celeste?
I don't remember. I literally was just all I was thinking about was Jason.
What happened? Oh, I have also made it a multiple choice question. If you were like, I don't fucking know, dude. All right,
you know me so well.
A,
got it.
The Nova.
Uh-huh.
B, De Gratia. C, the Amazon. Or D, Brigantine.
I'm going with A, the Nova.
No, it was called the Amazon, you dumb fuck.
Don't call me that. Was it really?
Yeah, it just sailed out of Nova Scotia.
That's what it was.
I knew I would get you with that one, dude.
Well, don't put Jason over there in the corner, dude.
Nobody puts Jason in the corner.
No one puts Jason in the corner.
All right. So, moving on. By 1872, she was refitted and looking good again. On November 7th, she left New York, headed for Genoa, Italy. Her cargo, 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol. Not the drinkable kind, though. The kind that strips paint and explodes and maintains bodies after they're dead. So, like formaldehyde kind of stuff.
So, like the real
totally a normal thing to load onto a wooden ship and sail across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Captain Benjamin Briggs was in charge. He had a solid reputation. He was experienced, respected, and deeply religious. He didn't drink or gamble and wasn't known for being overly superstitious. Just a little stitious.
What do you do? You don't drink, don't smoke.
But he wasn't all hard edges. Briggs was known to be a family man. He believed in keeping his loved ones close and even in high-risk environments. To him, being responsible didn't mean leaving behind.
It's okay, I forgive you.
But he wasn't all hard edges. Briggs was known to be a family man. He believed in keeping his loved ones close, even in high-risk situations. To him, being responsible didn't mean leaving the family behind. It meant protecting them, wherever he was. So based on that, Jamie, which of the following sounds like something Briggs actually did before departure? A, he refused to sail without a clergyman on board. B, he insisted the crew sing a hymn before every meal. C, he brought his wife and young daughter on the voyage. Or D, he had a portrait of his family nailed to the ship's wheel for moral guidance.
I'm going with B, him.
You're wrong again, dude. He brought his wife and daughter on the voyage.
I thought so.
Okay.
I thought like that makes more sense for the time.
Yep.
But maybe I thought.
Yeah, they're involved with this whole disappearance, which is even more of a bummer. So you
don't be so hard on me. Pour me a Malibu then.
All right. Malibu.
You can't. No, you can't. You're not allowed to have a drink.
Oh, okay.
Not till I'm wrong.
All right. Well, keep that one loaded. Then.
I'm just going to get hammered off Malibu.
All right. He also
Yeah.
chose his own crew, 7 men. No last-minute hires, no shady pasts. And these sailors were deeply religious, most of whom he'd worked with before. It wasn't some slap-together job. This was his crew, and he trusted it with his life and his family's. So logically, which of the following is most likely true about the crew, Jamie? They were hired last minute from a dockside tavern. Most had sailed with Briggs before. The shipping company assigned them at random. Or D, 2 of them were on their very first voyage.
Is this a fucking test the whole time?
Yeah, pretty
Why?
much.
Why? Are you
I don't know. It's
testing
fun
to
for
see-
me to make you
Are you
drink.
testing to see that if I'm listening or not?
Yeah.
I'm going to B. Again.
You nailed it, dude.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Every single person on the board Briggs had sailed with before,
That's what I thought.
including his wife and their extremely young child.
I figured a family man.
Yep.
It's not just like being
All right.
willy-nilly.
Set him up. So before Briggs, his family and his men embarked on this journey, Briggs had written a letter to his mother claiming how impressed he was with the crew and their spirits before they set out for their journey across the Atlantic.
This
So
is so gross.
recap.
Just shooting down the
I know. We're so fucking hungover. It's just going to be,
I'm going to hate tomorrow for sure.
it's okay. I'm most likely just going to sit on the couch. So I'll make sure to let you know how glorious it is.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to snowboard all day because I fucking.
All right. We have a freshly repaired ship with a competent captain, a hand-picked crew, pretty good weather, right? And a cargo full of dangerous alcohol. Everyone's experienced, everyone's accounted for, and everything's in order. And then we have silence for almost a month. No messages, no signals, no sightings. Until December 4th, when another ship spots the Mary Celeste drifting quietly across the Atlantic. No crew, no lifeboat, and no explanation. Now, it's December 4th, 1872. The crew of the De Gracia sees a ship on the horizon. It's moving, but not like a normal ship. It's sailing in circles, and the sails keep whipping back and forth from one side to another by the wind. Its sails are also torn. It's not responding. Something looks off. Captain Morehouse of the De Gracia recognizes her immediately. It's the Mary Celeste. He'd actually spoken with Briggs before they left New York. Same route, same cargo lanes, but this ship shouldn't be here, and it sure as hell shouldn't be unmanned. Morehouse sends over a boarding party. When they reach the ship, the boarding ladder is still down, like someone left it that way for a quick escape. The men climb up and step into complete silence. There's no crew, no sound, just the gentle creak of a ship drifting without purpose. Hey, Jamie, this is where it gets fun for you and for
Sorry.
we are going to
Pardon
go
me.
room by room. Jesus Christ.
That stinks, dude. smells like
Not as bad as the bathroom, so it's fine.
We said we're not talking about that.
We're going to go room by room of the Mary Celeste, and I'm going to hit you with a handful of clues from each area. Some are real.
When did this become like a
And
fucking?
some are total
It's
bullshit.
become like I feel like I'm on trial. For
Literally last episode. That's
Why?
when we decided to do this.
You decided this. and
I
you're gonna
decided to do it.
ask me 1,000 fucking questions for no reason, just to check to see if I was listening.
You
I don't
asked
like
me
it.
to be. You asked for me to involve you, dude.
Oh,
This
fair.
is how I'm going to do it. I'm
Okay.
going to make you either be right or drink. So
You're right.
sorry.
Carry on.
You need
Let's
to
hear it.
figure out what's real.
I said
and what's
carry
bullshit.
on. Let's listen.
Now, there are no more than 2 fakes per round.
Okay.
Room 1. So when the crew gets on, they check out the deck and the rigging. This is what the De Gracia crew found when they first stepped aboard. The sails were partially torn and hanging loose. Some had been shredded by the wind, others were missing entirely. They hadn't been trimmed or taken in properly, like the crew had left in a hurry. Clue number 2. The forward hatches were lying open with the cover beside it, like someone had pulled it open to check the cargo and then had never closed it again. 3. The wheel was spinning freely. No one had secured it. It creaked back and forth with the movement of the waves. No one had been steering in a while. 4. There was a dark smear across the starboard railing. At first glance, it looked like dried blood, but it turned out to be rust mixed with seawater. And clue number 5. There was a deep gouge in the mainmast, burnt around the edges, looking like it had been hit by lightning. No other burn marks appeared on the ship, though. Just this one. Out of those 5.
That's just 5. You're not going to add me like 10 more. That way my attention span can keep going crazy.
This is
like this.
only one room.
Yeah, that's a lot to remember. I'm
Okay.
going with 3.
Is fake?
Yes.
Okay. 3 is real. 1 is real. 1 was that the sails were partially torn.
Uh-huh.
The forward hatches were also lying completely open. I did lie about the dark smear of blood across the railing, and there was no evidence of any lightning strikes. Ready for the next room?
That means I have to take a shot right now.
I think you should take a shot.
Is there 5 different scenarios that I have to full on listen to right now?
Oh, it's about that, yeah. There might be 6, actually. because we go through the actual initial investigation and then there's a later investigation.
Damn
So,
it, I didn't know I was going back to school with this.
Yep.
Let's listen.
yeah,
We're
you
done.
better fucking perk those ears up, bud. All right. Now we're going to go into the captain's personal quarters, where he kept the logbooks, charts, and his effects. The room was oddly calm. However, the ship's logbook was stored away undisturbed. The last entry was dated November 25th, 10 days earlier, near the Azores, a group of islands in the middle of the Atlantic. Briggs's sword was hanging in its sheath above the bed, but it had a reddish-brown stain near the hilt. Was it blood? A pair of boots and a child's doll were neatly placed by the bed, not packed, just set there, like someone had been settling in for the night. Also, if you hear these and want to call bullshit immediately, just go for it. You don't need to wait till afterwards. Okay?
Okay.
4, the room was in total disarray. Papers scattered.
See, this is
Chairs
the first time you
overturned.
said a number. You didn't say
Okay.
1 or 2.
One-
You just said a bunch
one
of
was
shit
the
to me,
logbook.
and then you.
1 was the logbook.
You were cheating, sir.
2
You were a cheat.
was the sword.
So
That's-
first is the
that's
logbook.
ghost.
Okay.
Don't worry about them. 3 is the boots and the child's doll, which
Okay.
were neatly placed by the bed.
Okay.
They were not packed. They were set there, just like someone
Mhm.
had been sitting there for the night.
Yeah.
4, the room was in total disarray. Papers were scattered, chairs were overturned, and a shattered mirror lay on the floor.
Mhm.
Looked like there had been maybe a fight. 5, Briggs's pipe was still resting in a dish beside a closed Bible, like he had just stepped out and planned to return. Jamie, can you name the real and the unreal clues?
I'm saying 3 is bullshit.
3 is bullshit.
Yes.
What else?
I'm saying
There's
that
one more.
the blood smear was that 2? Was that 1?
That was in. Well, okay, so that was actually. You're talking about on the sword.
Yeah.
That is true.
Okay. Why don't you just tell me?
Clue 3
Everything
and
doesn't
clue
have to be
4.
a test right now. Why don't you
So
tell me
the-
the story? We'll
The
go from
boots
there.
and the
I feel like I'm
doll.
on trial here.
The boots and the doll were
Yeah.
fake, and the room being torn completely apart were also a fake. Right? The room was really well
Wow.
put in order.
I'm so lost. I am so confused right now. You have so many questions for me.
Okay.
How are the viewers following?
I don't know.
Are you confused?
I'm asking
Are
for
you
them.
confused yourself?
While they're drinking, they should also be listening to the clues and be like, that's real, that's bullshit, that's real, that's
Well,
bullshit. I advise you to do the same.
Okay.
Okay. The cargo hold is room 3. This is where the alcohol was stored and where some things did not add up. There was about 3.5 feet of water sloshing around in the bottom of the hold. Not enough to sink the ship, but definitely enough to make a captain nervous. Most of the this is number 2. Most of the barrels were intact, but 9 were completely empty. They only had a slightly different color than the other barrels. There were burn marks along the walls of the hold, the kind of thing you'd expect if there had been a flash fire or an explosion. 4, a strong chemical smell was reported in by the salvage crew, like alcohol fumes or maybe something even stronger lingering in the air. 5, there were signs someone had tried to smash open one of the barrels with a hatchet. The staves were splintered on one side and soaked through. Jamie, what's real and what's me messing with you?
5 is definitely bullshit.
5 is definitely bullshit.
Yes.
You have anything else?
I would say 1 because you didn't tell me it was called 1.
Okay, so 1 is real. There was about 3.5 feet of water slashing around in the hold, but there were no burn marks of any of the barrels exploding. Now, the one that I will give you here is that number 4, the strong chemical smell was reported by the salvage crew, has been debated because it hasn't been written down, but it is very likely that there was a strong smell of alcohol in the hold.
So you're cheating.
I'm not cheating. I'm saying that it's reported, or like people use it a lot in evidence.
Wanted me. That's called a bait and switch, right?
In
You're
theories,
cheating.
people often cite the fact that there would have been a strange smell coming from the cargo hold because it's definitely evident that
I love that.
these barrels definitely leaked out.
Okay.
9 barrels worth of extremely potent alcohol.
Okay.
Last stop, the galley.
Okay.
Let's call it the dining room.
Will you just tell me which number it is each time instead of just like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you which number it
Okay.
was?
Number 1,
There we
there
go.
was food
Hey,
sitting out.
You did it. Food sitting out.
Partially prepared meals like someone had just started cooking, nothing spoiled, just unfinished.
Okay.
Okay.
2.
There was a pot of stew on the stove and a pan of bread rolls cooling nearby.
Double food.
Supplies were still stocked, food, water, cooking oil, enough to last a couple weeks, maybe more. Nothing had been rationed or tossed. 4, the stove was warm when they boarded, which would mean someone had been there recently. And 5, One crew member swore he heard a faint knocking sound below deck, but they never found a source.
I'm going with 4 and 5 are bullshit.
Number 2 is also bullshit.
You made up 3?
I did 3. Because I tried to trick you.
Can you just tell me the story instead of just like...
So the food was sitting out, and they had a ton of supplies. Okay. So after the DeGracia, so like that's where that kind of ended, right? After the DeGracia crew brought the Mary Celeste into Gibraltar, they did what anyone would do. They filed a salvage claim, which, according to maritime law, if you find an abandoned ship and sail it back to port, you are entitled to a cut of its value, both the ship and its cargo. But British authorities took one look at the situation and demanded an investigation. There's a perfectly good ship full of valuable alcohol, no sign of a fight, no bodies, no lifeboat, but also no damage. There was something off. Enter Frederick Solly Flood, Gibraltar's Attorney General. He immediately launched a full-blown investigation and started sniffing around for foul play. If there wasn't a crime, he was going to find one and pin it on these men anyways. Whoa, what just happened? Here's what this team uncovered, or at least claimed that they did. Clue 1. 9 barrels of alcohol were empty. Not spilled, just empty. The weird part? These barrels were made from red oak instead of white oak, which is more porous. That means the alcohol could have slowly evaporated or leaked out over time. Not sabotage, just cheap barrel material. I forgot to mention you have to decipher between all these ones.
See? Okay.
Barrel. First clue.
Yep. That one's a lie.
Yep, bad barrels.
How do you know that one's a lie?
The rest of the cargo
This
was
one's also
untouched.
a lie.
Over 1,600 barrels. Still sealed perfectly and fine. No signs of looting, no missing crates. Just industrial alcohol waiting for delivery. The ship's chronometer, sextant, and navigation log were all missing. As if someone left the ship in a lifeboat. Those would have been exactly the tools they needed to try and survive at sea. And the fourth clue, a second lifeboat was found hidden under the tarp near the stern, fully stocked with emergency supplies. Jamie, which one of these is false?
Can you repeat them again, please?
Okay. We have the 9 barrels of alcohol that were empty.
Mm-hmm.
They were apparently made out of a different wood,
Mm-hmm.
white oak versus red oak.
Okay.
We have the rest of the cargo hold was completely untouched. Third, we have the ship's chronometer, sextant, and navigation log. So the sextant is going to be like, think of it as like a compass attached to a spyglass. Okay. And then the fourth one is a second lifeboat was actually found underneath a hidden tarp near the stern, fully stocked with emergency supplies.
Can you repeat them again, please?
Are you doing
I'm going with 2 and 4 are bullshit.
Okay. So I'm going to give you this one. Number 4 is total bullshit.
Yeah.
2
no shit.
is real.
Really?
Yep. There was only one this time.
So we take a shot each time?
Well, I'll take a shot because you got one of them right. If I completely stump you.
No, I'm having a hard time following this story because I feel like I'm in school again and I have to like wait to like answer to my teacher.
You can call them out immediately. I can tell you you're wrong immediately if you want.
Well, how many more are there?
Well, I got a couple more.
You did not tell me, sir, that I was going to be on trial for this.
Well, you got to pay attention.
I don't want to. You talk a lot.
No,
so I just like
I've wondered what it would be like to be a teacher.
I find myself just like drifting and dreaming about a time when you're not talking.
All right. So now we're going to go to clue set number 2. This is the physical evidence aboard the captain's ship. Briggs's sword was found hanging in its sheath with a reddish-brown stain near the hilt. Solly Flood jumped on that immediately, claiming it would be blood. Was it? Apparently no. It was just rust from being at sea.
So take those shots too, dummy.
I already took one. I just took one.
Take another one. Don't be a dumb idiot. Just Malibu shots. I can't wait to be hungover tomorrow.
Okay. Number 2. There's a deep gouge along the bow of the ship. Solly Flood had thought it looked like something that had been forcibly removed or like there had been some kind of collision. 3. There was a bloody footprint was discovered near the main mast. Faint, but clearly visible. Naturally, this led to 5 theories about who was responsible being born. The ship was structurally fine, however. No water damage, no fire, no visible signs of a struggle anywhere else. There is one false clue in this whole thing.
All of them sound real to me. I don't know.
The bloody footprint is the fake.
It's always the blood. You're right.
It's always the bloody footprint. All right. Lastly, we will go to the legal speculation that happened with this with this case. Solly Flood suspected the DeGracia crew of foul play. He figured they might have staged the whole thing, killed the crew of the Mary Celeste, and tried to cash in on the salvage. He also questioned the timeline in the logbooks. Thought it was fishy that the entries stopped 10 days before the ship was found. Maybe those entries were forged. 3, the De Gracia crew was arrested and held in Gibraltar for nearly a month while their story was investigated. 4, eventually the court ruled that the De Gracia crew was not responsible, but they still got only a fraction of the salvage reward, less than a fifth of what they expected. Can you spot the lie?
3.
Boom, you got it. They were not arrested. They were held there for quite a while and were told, hey, don't leave.
Yep.
We need to talk to you. But they were never arrested. You nailed me on that one. So good work, dude. Paying attention.
Well, because I have to. Usually I can just drift off the sea.
I'm glad to know that's what you do during the episodes.
Well, you get to rambling.
I'm trying not to ramble so much. I'm trying to get you involved.
I'm just fucking with you, dude.
All right.
Get a complex about it.
So the court found no proof of mutiny, no signs of a struggle.
Just fucking All right, go on.
The court found no proof of mutiny, no signs of a struggle, and no real reason why anyone would abandon a perfectly sound ship. They also didn't find any clues about what really happened. So they paid the De Gracia a reduced salvage amount and basically said, we'll get you next time if you try this shit again. The Mary Celeste was released back into commercial use. New crew, new voyages, but the mystery stuck around. No wreckage ever turned up. No lifeboat was found. No bodies. Just 10 people. Briggs, his wife, daughter, and 7 crew completely gone. And since then, all we've had are theories. Again, Jamie, this is where you come in.
Okay.
I'm going to hit you with the most popular explanations for what happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste.
Hit me with your best.
Some are smart. Some are stupid. Your job is to defend each one.
Okay.
If you can't figure it out and how it all ties together, you drink. If you nail it, I'll drink. Ready to get into it?
Yep.
Okay. So theory 1, alcohol fumes or explosion and a panic abandonment. You want me to go further into that?
Alcohol. So I disagree.
You think it's just bullshit
Yeah.
right off the bat?
Yep.
Okay. So there were 9 barrels of alcohol found completely empty. They were made of red oak, which is much more porous. Okay. There was no sign of fire or explosion anywhere on board. The hatch had been held open and left off like someone had recently expected it.
Yes.
The ship was still seaworthy and nothing had been packed like they were abandoning it permanently.
Exactly.
The lifeboat was missing, along with navigation tools like the sextant and the chronometer. All right. You think that this theory makes no sense?
No, I think it can make sense, but I don't believe it happened.
You don't?
No, because there's no burn marks.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I think
I agree with that one because specifically there is no burn.
Yeah.
Like there's no, I mean, my guess is that the ship didn't like rumble as the alcohol came out of those barrels. No explosions happened on the ship. The ship looked in tip-top shape.
Ship shop shape.
Ship-top shape.
Ship shop shape, dude.
Tip-top shape. Okay. I think you nailed it. I'll drink on that one.
Thank you. Go on.
Theory number 2, mutiny or foul play.
You think they all just killed each other on the ship?
Do you?
No.
Why not?
Because they would have found bodies. Someone eventually would have been the last person that died. It would have been on the ship.
What if they all went crazy?
And then just all jumped off the ship like a colt?
What if the alcohol is leaking out?
What if the alcohol made them go crazy and they all jumped off the ship?
Exactly.
Then wouldn't the ship just stop?
No, I mean, the ship doesn't stop.
Would it continue going forward?
Well, so
how would it make its way to its maiden voyage with everyone
there's
just
no
jumped off the ship?
steering the ship.
Yeah.
It's going to be at the whims of the waves for the most part, or
And
the
it
wind.
just randomly got to the place where it was sold and carried on as a ship again?
I don't know about that one.
It did.
Well, I mean, like
I knew,
technically, but
I knew that. It technically
it was
literally
brought
got to
into
another
port.
spot. It was in a
brought
port.
halfway across the Atlantic by another boat.
Sold.
Yeah.
And then
Repurposed. It
Reshipped.
went back out.
ships be shipping again.
Yep.
So yes, I don't think mutiny happened
Okay.
because I think we would have found someone on ship dead or one.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, unless
Yeah, I
that
agree.
person jumped onto the other ship and was in cahoots with the other ship
We have
person.
no idea. Yeah.
And then they're like covered for them.
But it's a 150-year-old secret. Like, it's very difficult. I'd say, like, conspiracies eventually fall apart and JFK files get released immediately or, like, eventually, right? So,
I see what you did there.
I don't know. I think that this one's
Do
a
you
little
think so?
unlikely. No, I don't. I have my own theory of what actually happened.
Okay. I'm sure we're going to hear about it.
Okay. Theory number 3,
As a jab at you.
a water spout or a sudden, like, natural type phenomenon. This one's more sciencey. There's no murder. There's no panic. Just extremely bad luck. Can you justify it, or is it total bullshit?
That just a water leak happened?
Not necessarily a water leak because the ship would have sunk, but a water spout, which is like, think of it as like a deep sea hurricane.
And so everyone just disappeared because of that deep sea hurricane.
Maybe they were like ripped off the boat, or
See, and I also don't see how
some other kind of like natural phenomena. A rogue wave also.
is it known that that boat was, or the ship was just randomly found in the middle of the ocean and then they pulled it. Okay.
From what everyone like, and the reason why it's like extremely like relevant is because not only did like the crew that found it say that they didn't find anything weird about the ship, but they brought it there and they were under investigation for an entire month because they were not going to pay them out. They're like, no, we will not pay you if you guys had anything
to do
with this. And this like local magistrate in Gibraltar like went through and found like looked through everything with the ship and didn't find evidence of anything like, you know, malintent, I guess I would say.
So I'd say it'd be a very heavy coincidence if everyone on that ship was up on the like top dock when a giant hurricane happened to be like pushed off the ship. So I think if they like felt the waters, everyone would be like, hey, let's go down to the bottom and hide.
Yeah.
So I think this is highly unlikely.
Okay. I agree with you.
Thanks.
Okay. Theory number 4, sea monster, aliens, or supernatural force. I'm going to lump all 3 of those into one.
Why?
Because I think that like they don't deserve a lot of credit.
Why? This is obviously a ghost boat. Everyone knows it's a ghost boat. Why would you lump it into a sea urchin?
I guess I
Why would
could
you
be wrong.
downplay this shit?
Give me the evidence for ghost boat, and I
give me
will
the
change
evidence it's
my
not a
mind.
ghost. Just say that.
What?
Where was that? Where's the evidence that it's not a ghost?
You have watched too much Ghost Adventures, my friend.
No, or Ghost Ship. Have you seen the movie Ghost
I
Ship?
have seen Ghost Ship.
Based
You know
off this.
That movie is so fucking sick.
Yeah.
When like
Where do
literally
you
the
think
first scene is so cool, where like everyone's like Titanic dancing on the top of the boat and they're having a good time, and then like the mast breaks and it just literally cuts every single person in the boat in half.
Yeah.
Except for the one little girl who's too short. It goes like right over the top of her head. I watched that movie in preparation for this episode.
Of course you
It
did.
was so fucking good.
It's a great movie.
I loved it, dude. I love Ghost Ship.
So, okay. So you think it's either a sea urchin?
I don't think it's a sea urchin.
Okay.
I think that's way too small for this.
There's no one else here in this room. Someone wants to elaborate.
Someone's feeling spicy.
All right.
But
so
anyway,
keep going.
So, Jamie, can you say yes or no to
Yes.
a sea monster?
No sea monster.
No sea monster. Aliens.
We can never confirm and deny that it's it.
What about something supernatural? Whether it's the ship is cursed, we have the Bermuda Triangle is very difficult to, I would say, dismiss.
Yes. How close was it, the Bermuda Triangle?
Not even close.
Close.
Not even close. We're way further out into the Atlantic from the Bermuda Triangle.
So I say it's more realistic that it's going to be a ghost than a sea monster.
Okay.
I stick with that.
Okay.
Aliens, you never know, but there's also never going to be ever any evidence of aliens.
Yeah. I think the biggest things are like there's no physical evidence, right? The boat seems to be in like perfect shape, besides the sails being whipped around because no one's taking care of it pretty much. There's no reported sea animal attacks like giant squids
Ever.
in the area. Giant squids do exist. I watched a crazy video about
One.
48-foot long.
Yeah, but
That's huge.
that is very big.
That's huge.
Yes.
That's a very large sea monster. It's not going to just like not leave a trace, snatching 10 people off one by one or all at the same time. Superstition just like doesn't equal fact, and the fact that it had bad luck doesn't mean that a ghost did it. I don't really know what to say about the ghost ship part of things. No one after this that because they kept sailing the Mary Celeste, no one ever complained about how things went bad. So it was apparently like this was like the big hurrah that the Mary Celeste had after all the shit that went wrong with the Amazon. So I'm going to jump to our last theory.
Once you're ready for your theory, I'm going to tell you my theory.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yep.
Okay. So theory number 5, and this is the theory that makes the most sense to me. If you're willing to believe that the crew of the Mary Celeste didn't panic, they didn't get attacked, and they weren't victims of anything more dramatic than bad timing and a sudden gust of wind. 9 barrels of alcohol were found empty. They were made of red oak, which is more porous, meaning that the alcohol leaked out, creating fumes. There was no sign of fire or explosion, but those fumes could have made the air down below very toxic. The main cargo hatch was found open as if someone had been inspecting the hold recently. The skylights, basically the ship's upper hatches and windows, were also open, and they were likely open to vent a ship. Navigation tools were missing from the cabin, suggesting someone left the ship intentionally and prepared. The lifeboat was gone. There was no wreckage, no damage, just gone. An frayed rope was seen trailing behind the ship like a tow line that had snapped. So here's how it goes. The crew starts noticing something wrong, a smell. Maybe they start getting nauseous. They open the hold, realize alcohol vapors are leaking into the ship. They're not sure how dangerous it is, but people are starting to feel things. Headaches, dizziness, maybe some heavy air. Briggs, with his wife and child aboard, doesn't want to risk anything. So they open everything up. The cargo hatch, skylights, and they get off the ship temporarily in a lifeboat. Maybe it's tied off with just a single line. Just some clean air and some distance between the fumes and the ship while the whole thing airs out. But some wind picks up and the sails, half raised, catch just enough movement and the rope snaps. The ship drifts quietly away, leaving the lifeboat behind with 10 people stranded at sea. No struggle, no panic, no violence, just a cautious captain making a logical choice and the ocean doing what the ocean does best.
Kill.
Now, there's a couple problems with this theory. There's no direct record. Here's the logbook. There's no record of anyone experiencing anything negative. The De Gracia did not technically really notice any fumes, right? This is something we talked about earlier when I was like, clue number 4 was like that there was a smell. Like, that's been debated because it could have been completely aerated by the time that the De Gracia got there. If it was a temporary evacuation, why take the weird navigation tools like the sextant and the spyglass, right? There were no lifeboat or bodies ever found. No traces. And if Briggs was that cautious, why would he risk putting his family in a lifeboat after all of the shit that had gone wrong with this ship? So anyways, that's my theory. I still think that despite all of these problems that the theory has, it's the most likely one, that they got off the boat to let it air out because the alcohol had either ruptured from like maybe a big wave or something and had started to affect them, and they got off the boat and all of a sudden wind picked up and ripped the main line. I don't know. But Jamie, what is your theory?
My theory is this good Christian man decides or has been haunted by the fact that he's not really a good human. So he plans to murder his kid and his wife. And the best way he knows how to do it is to bring them onto the boat that he captains.
I'm listening.
So he brings them all on, tells the crew members that there's something going on and wrong with the boat, kills everyone, jumps onto other said boat that captures that finds the other boat, is because he's cahoots with the other magistrate.
He did know, well, not even the magistrate, but he knew the captain of the De Gracia.
Yeah. So, and then gets on that boat and then fucking leaves and goes somewhere else,
Thailand,
and starts a new life.
Like everyone else goes. Thailand.
That's my theory.
Interesting.
He murdered his family and the rest.
How did he kill everyone?
With a fucking knife.
There's no evidence of that.
Exactly. Threw them all off. He threw one by one.
Even killing people on the boat, you're still going to have bloodstains places, whether or not you can find it when it's happening or not.
I don't know how he did it. I'm just saying. That's my theory.
So it's not a mutiny. It's a mutineer?
Yeah.
I don't know how you exactly call it, but damn.
My theory.
I don't disregard your theory.
Obviously, it's not true.
I like it, though. It's a good thought.
He just strangled everyone, too. Mass strangulation.
That's hardcore because they're all fucked up.
Yeah.
From the alcohol.
The gas, he let the alcohol fumes,
the alcohol out? Oh, you're going to have to.
There's no way to ever figure this out.
No, you're going to have to talk to him.
Through like a medium or something?
I think if anyone hears a medium that's listening and needs to, like, we would love to have you on the show, regardless of whether or not you want to talk about this. We'd love to have you on the show. We will talk to Benjamin Briggs himself if you can access him and ask him whether or not he was tired of being a dad.
He just killed his whole family.
He just wanted to be a rowdy ship captain. He wanted to be a pirate, my guess.
And disappeared to
He was
Thailand.
tired of loving God, man. He got tempted by the devil's ways. And
it's usually those people that say that they're really into Jesus are the ones that are the most fucked up.
It always is, man.
Always.
I think you might be onto something. I honestly, pour me one because that's the best theory I've heard. I thought my theory was good.
Thank you.
You win, dude.
I watch a lot of murder.
Yep. All right. Fuck, man. That's going to wrap it up for our deep dive into the Mary Celeste. It's a fully intact
You don't
ship.
have like 7 other questions for me to answer?
No, that's it, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Fully intact ship, missing crew, and a whole bunch of theories that somehow all sound just believable enough to mess with you.
You rhymed again, you fucking dork.
Did I? What'd I rhyme?
Say it again.
A fully intact ship, a missing crew, and a whole bunch of stuff to mess with you.
Yeah, definitely
We covered. Well, I skipped a bunch of stuff so I could actually rhyme it.
Yeah, no, you did not. You rhymed the first time.
No, I have it. I have it all written out here, but I did
Right.
shorten it. We've covered everything from alcohol fumes to sea monsters, and honestly, Jamie has his own theory, and I have mine.
What do you?
But there's a lot of other theories.
What do you?
Let us know what you think. It's what makes this case fantastic. Thanks for sticking around with us on this one. We had a blast telling it, and hopefully you had a few drinks and a few what along the way.
Oh, please.
So without further ado,
Please like and subscribe.
oh yeah.
Pointing down. Here we go.
No, we want the thumbs up one.
I'm pointing down to our logo. This is gonna be right there.
Oh yeah. Oh, nice, dude.
And there.
Well, no, I'm over here. It's like right here.
Okay, right there.
That's over in this.
Yeah, please like and subscribe.
Right there.
Give us a comment. Tell all your friends. Tell your mom's friends. Tell your mom's friends. Everyone.
Literally,
please.
even if you were just talking to yourselves, like
We're just desperate.
just
Start a couple other accounts on YouTube and then just like,
you don't need to do that.
please,
Well, you can if you want.
please.
But we love you guys, and we're like so pumped that anyone's even interacting with us. Like we talked about in our last episode, like we had people that were talking to us about some stuff that happened with the Moscow, Idaho killings. If you have things that you think about this episode, or if you just want to fucking talk to yourselves, just do it. It's an open platform.
Yeah.
We ain't here to judge.
No.
We're here to drink.
Toast now. All right. How do we end this?
Without further ado,
Yep.
Stay spooky, not sober, and
you can lead a horse to water, but you can never make him come.
don't look directly at me.